How you doing, guys? Daniel back again with another video for you. It's time to take a look through the pages of Combat Patrol issue 7. If you like my content, don't forget you can hit that like button and the subscribe if you've not already done so. It helps me reach a wider audience of similar viewers. Once again, my issue is yet to arrive, so thanks to Darren McCormack Parker for the save, allowing me to review his copy. This week's miniatures come in the form of half of the sprues we need to build a unit of termagants and a Ripper Swarm, the other half coming in the following issue. This means the minis will be costing us $19.98 in total, and with a unit of termagants from GW website setting us back £28, we save £8 here, so just under 30%. The first couple of pages cover the assembly of these miniatures. Similarly to the last miniatures we received, most of these appear to come in 4 parts, so it shouldn't be too tricky to build. The next chunk of the magazine contains a shed load of information regarding both Space Marines, or Angels of Death, and the Tyranids. The picture on the first page of this section depicting a group of jump pack wearing Inceptors descending from high orbit in a storm of bolter fire like some kind of avenging angel, hence the moniker Angels of Death. The Imperium of Man is a massive empire, and as such it's impossible for elite warriors of the Space Marines to be everywhere. Factory workers trudge to their daily shifts beneath vast statues of these heroes of the Imperium, while Imperial soldiers on the front lines pray to be joined by them, their near godlike abilities vital in turning the tide in the face of insurmountable odds. Lightning strikes. Though Space Marines are few in number, the impact of their attacks is massive. They launch attacks from orbit, landing in the middle of beleaguered war zones, crippling enemy forces with these devastating attacks. Through combined arms, the Imperium is at its deadliest. Marines taking to the field of battle alongside the vast battalions of the Astra Militarum, or the technological marvels of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The Sisters of Battle inspire all to do more than their bodies would usually allow, through sheer force of will and their indomitable faith. Turning the page, we find some information on the Tyranid Hive Mind, the vast unknowable swarm intelligence that allows them terrifying coordination in battle. It is beyond human comprehension, but its powers are there to see for all who meet it in battle. In truth, Tyranids are in many ways more like one galaxy-spanning beast than billions of individual organisms. Warriors like Termagants and Von Ryan's Leapers acting as its teeth, and larger synapse organisms filling the role of the brain. Though Tyranids as a whole can react faster than the average force, there is an underlying weakness to this strategy of existence. If you're to take out the synapse creatures, the lesser organisms revert to instinctive bestial behaviour. This, however, is easier said than done, as these mind beasts are often among the largest and most deadly Tyranids. An unknowable presence. Humanity knows little of the true nature of the hive mind. Some speculate it is akin to a god, while others theorise it's a collective intelligence or a psychic presence. When Tyranids attack, they do so as a single predatory entity, commands relayed instantly and instinctively, pointing to some unnatural intelligence to the victims of the assault. If sacrificing billions of Tyranids will grant access to more biomass, the hive mind will think nothing of doing so. The picture on the next page depicts a Hive Tyrant in the midst of battle. Those who choose the premium subscription of Combat Patrol will receive one of these in the coming months to add to their collection. Creatures like the Hive Tyrant are vital to the Tyranid synaptic network, broadcasting the will of the hive mind across the Tyranid swarm. Where synapse creatures are present, even the lowliest bioforms fight with ruthless ferocity. Some, such as Tyranid Primes, are found at the forefront of the battle, while others act as artillery beasts holding the rear lines while hounding the enemy from afar. Some supercharge the regenerative abilities of their kin, while others possess ruthless cunning that they can seemingly share with lesser life forms. All should be priority targets for destruction on the battlefield, as a leaderless swarm is halfway to a defeated swarm. On the next page we get up close and personal with 3 types of synapse creatures, starting with the Neuro Tyrant. These floating beasts are capable of unleashing a fraction of the hive mind's psychic might as a weapon in head-bursting beams of etheric energy. Tervagons are next up, and are something between a command tank, transport and unholy abomination. They incubate a clutch of dormant termagants, birthing them onto the front lines where reinforcements are required, commanding its awful progeny with synaptic imperatives and supporting them with blows from its massive claws. Tyranid warriors operate in elite broods. They expand the synaptic network while simultaneously acting as powerful shock troops, each one easily a match for a Space Marine in hand-to-hand combat. The next 2 pages are filled with another short story. This time we find a group of Ultramarines led by one named Fabian facing a near-endless horde of Tyranids and running out of ideas. Will they win the day and defeat their enemy? You'll have to read it to find out. On the next 4 pages we find more rules info. The first covers movement and measuring, giving us a guide of using the ruler that came with this issue. The next we get movement and coherency. A unit must remain within 2 inches of another model from that unit. I like to point out here that some people think that means less than 2 inches, but within 2 inches is up to and including 2 inches. So don't let anybody tell you any different. Following on from this, we find out where our units can move and restrictions based on interactions with other units and enemy models, covering concepts such as engagement range. It all becomes second nature when you've done it enough. Finally, we'll learn about weapons, threat ranges and line of sight. This is the stuff that helps us select eligible targets for our ranged weapons and 1 or 2 other things in game. On to this week's gaming section. The narrative is set up with the Space Marines trying to prevent the Tyranid swarm from growing. In order to do this, our Infernus Marines must use the Tyranid terrain as cover and destroy the barb gaunts with their shooting attacks. Once again, to spell things out, we get a few turns broken down to help us out. The Infernus Marines must ensure they position themselves behind cover as much as possible, otherwise they'll be targeted by the barb gaunts. Once they're in range, the Space Marines can return fire and attempt to eliminate the Xenos threat. As usual, the narrative continues dependent on who the victor is. Onto the back cover, and in issue 8 we're due to receive the rest of the termagants that form the squad of 10, plus the Ripper Swarm of course. And in issue 9 we'll be receiving 2 more paints, allowing us to get our minis that little bit closer to completion. That brings this week's episode to a close. Join me again for my review of issue 8. Until next time, I'll see you on the battlefield.